It's time now for Shark Bites, talking San Jose Sharks and the National Hockey League on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here is your host, Glenn Craig.
All right, everybody, and welcome into the debut program. It's called Shark Bites, a Northern Lights Entertainment production. Today, we're going to take a look at the San Jose Sharks, few of their prospects, and as we work our way toward the start of the National Hockey League season coming up on October the 4th, we'll be taking a look at not only the young guys, but also the veterans who will be returning to the Sharks this coming season. Should be a very heated training camp getting underway later this week. Of course, we'll be talking not only about the Sharks, but the San Jose Barracuda, who are the American Hockey League affiliate, playing out of the SAP Center as well. And the Wichita Thunder will get a little talk time. They are the East Coast Hockey League affiliate of the Sharks. Want to welcome everybody who is joining us this afternoon for the debut of the show. Good to have you along, and as people enter the chat, we hope there will be some there. We'll field some questions. It'll be interactive at times, and well, you'll be part of the show. All right, in today's show, we take a look at the Prospects Tournament, which is underway. The Sharks are already 2-0 entering the final game of the tourney. It goes this afternoon. That game will get underway in the Bay at about 2:30. And by the way, before I get into the action that has already transpired, if you want to catch today's Prospects game, the Sharks will be playing Colorado, looking for the sweep. The game is going to be broadcast. The game will be broadcast on, I believe it is Colorado website, the NHL website. Haven't got confirmation, but if I get it before the end of the show, I'll give you the link and how you can tune into that game. All righty. Let's take a look at some of the prospects, shall we? I would dare say that around the National Hockey League, everybody is talking about Macklin Celebrini. Now, a highly scouted youngster who came out of Boston University. He's going to sport jersey number 71, and you are going to see him in the San Jose Sharks lineup. No doubt about it. Now, this young fellow is from Vancouver, was the number 1 pick of the National Hockey League draft this year. Not only suiting up for Boston University, where he had a great year with 32 goals, and he accounted for 32 assists, but also played at the World Junior Hockey Championships, played 5 games there as well, and he scored 4 goals and 4 helpers in only 5 games, so putting up 8 points at the World Juniors. Macklin Celebrini, he's everything you want in a first-round pick. The guy can score. He dished out the helpers. Like I said last year, his offense evenly spread with 32 goals, 32 assists, and he is playing well. In fact, in the first game of the tournament on Friday, picked up a goal on a beautiful slap shot. Some of the other guys you're going to look for this year, or at least on my viewing map. How about Quentin Musty, the left winger out of the Sudbury Wolves? He was a 2023 4th-round draft pick. He was taken 123rd, I believe, overall in the draft. The left winger is also a guy you got to watch for. And in yesterday's Prospects game, a game that the Sharks young guys, they beat up on the Anaheim Ducks, one of their West Coast rivals. It was a 7-2 Sharks victory, and Quentin Musty scored a hat trick. So, I mean, the guy is putting the puck in the net early, and I expect he's going to have a great season this year. If not in San Jose, you can expect him to be suiting up for the San Jose Barracuda. Another fella moving to the forward line once again is center iceman Will Smith. No, I'm not talking about Will Smith of Hollywood fame. Will Smith out of Boston College. So as you can see, the draft for the Sharks, they're really looking the college route, as well as Canadian junior hockey, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Ontario League, and players, the young guys from the Western Hockey League as well. But I mentioned earlier that at a BU, you've got the first-round pick, Celebrini. Well, Will Smith joins the San Jose Shark prospects out of Boston College, the 2023 first-round pick, another high talent. He was selected in that draft at number 4. I expect big things from Will Smith up on the forward line playing the center ice position. He is going to be highly looked at during the training camp, which gets underway on Thursday. On defense, I don't want to forget about defensemen and young guys in the defensive core. Luca Cagnoni, he's from Burnaby, British Columbia, another Canadian talent. 4th-round pick in 2023, played for the Portland Winterhawks, where he scored 18 goals, had 72 assists. So the guy will produce some goals, but on the blue line, he is a guy who's going to set up the play. Had 90 points last year on the D for Portland. And again, a 4th-round pick. You're look at the guys I've mentioned. Cagnoni, the defenseman, of 4th-round pick. You've got Celebrini, we all know. Celebrated Celebrini at number 1 in the draft, taken this spring. 2023, a first-rounder, Will Smith, and Musty as well, a high pick in the 4th round, number 123 overall. So that's just some of the few young guys we're watching as the prospects tournament continues. And once again, you've got the Colorado youngsters taking on the Sharks prospects. Sharks are 2-0, looking for the sweep this afternoon. The game gets underway around 2:30 for those of you watching in the Bay Area. And right here on Shark Bites, we'll be, as the season goes along, taking a look at what's transpiring with the National Hockey League club I mentioned off the top. The San Jose Barracuda as well. I'll be catching a lot of Barracuda games over at the SAP Center. And Wichita Thunder. We hope to have some guests in from the Thunder organization talking about the depths of the organization. Mark Graves is in the house. He says, can imagine a 19-year-old playing against men. Looking forward to watching these young guys. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Celebrini, maybe young, but he's proven he can score those goals. I told you earlier, 32 goals, 32 assists, and that was only in 38 university games, Mark. So, yeah, the future is bright for the San Jose Sharks with these youngsters. I'll tell you what, they can only go up. They can only go up. Last year, Sharks had a terrible year. 19 wins, 54 losses, 9 ties. That's right, 19 wins. They were last in the Pacific Division. And you know what? It's a rebuilding time. And if you follow professional sports, you know you got to take the bad before the good, especially when you're developing young players, because these guys get a chance to play. You put a nice team around them, some veterans, you know what can happen, right? Don't have to tell you. Whether it's baseball, hockey, football, you got to have the veteran leadership. And I'm telling you what, this youthful core is painting a very, very bright future for the San Jose Sharks. The goal differential last year, they got to get some goals this year, folks. 150. The goal differential. So gave up a lot of goals last year. They're going to have to tighten that up later on as the camp gets underway. We'll take a look at the goaltending core. I expect, well, at least I hope we get to see Mackenzie Blackwood. I think he's very underrated veteran goaltender coming out of the New Jersey Devils organization. He will hopefully get a lot of playing time. Didn't play that bad considering the team only had 19 wins last year. Home record last year, 11-25-5. Road 8-29-4. Certainly a number that you've got to see improve. I mean, I know it's tough when you're a team struggling, team rebuilding to win on the road, but 8 wins as opposed to 24 losses and the 4 ties. That is a tough season indeed. You know what it's like when you travel with a team. I'm a former broadcaster myself, many a year in the American Hockey League and broadcast in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Also did some tournament action as well. And I'll tell you what, when you're eliminated come December or January, makes for a lot of long bus rides and plane rides, a lot of travel. And you just got to, play out the season. Now, I'm not expecting miracles this year by any stretch, and I hope you guys aren't as well. But I anticipate that it's going to be a great learning curve for the young guys. And it's going to be a lot of fun for the fans taking in the games over at SAP Center in San Jose. Now, we're going to have a lot to talk about in our next show, which is coming up on Wednesday. This week, we'll broadcast not only today, but Wednesday and Friday at the same time. And Wednesday is going to be Media Day. So we're going to have some clips. We'll find out what the vast majority of the Shark players at camp have to say, what they predict, how they feel, a little bit more about the wrap-up of the tournament, which finishes off today. And again, I mentioned that the Sharks young guys are 2-0, unbeaten. And that included yesterday's 7-2 win. Fresh off Media Day, they'll drop the puck at camp. Preseason camp gets underway on Thursday. That's when the guys will be pushed to their limits. I'm sure the first couple of days, they're going to gently, wean their way in, get the legs underneath them, and then it'll be every man for himself trying to make the cut. Of course, the early cuts will be sent down to Wichita and then to the San Jose Barracuda. The Barracuda, they open up their season. If you want to catch some games, why not check them out online? If you're in the Bay Area, get some tickets, get a great product in an NHL arena at a great cost. It's something the family can afford. If you want to introduce your kids or get the family involved in hockey, it's a great way to, get involved by dropping out to a Barracuda game. Now, they open up October 4th against Bakersfield Condors. Bit of a rivalry there with another California-based team. The October 6th game will be a home game. Also, it's a home-and-home series, so they'll take on Bakersfield. So they open up the season on the road against Bakersfield. And then on October the 6th, you've got the American Hockey League season getting underway for the Bakersfield Condors and the Barracuda in San Jose. They go back-to-back. Barracuda last year, you know what? Another tough year, although wasn't as bad as the National Hockey League club. And this only proves there's a little bit of talent in the pipeline. The Barracuda were 24-34 with 10 overtime losses. They had 4 shootout losses as well. Mark Graves is still in the chat here. I'm going to take a look at some of the contributions from the viewers. When is McDavid a free agent? He wasn't too happy after the playoffs. You know what? I don't anticipate that you'll see Connor McDavid go anywhere when he reaches free agency. Edmonton, he likes it there. He was very disappointed, obviously. For those of you who not only follow the San Jose Sharks, you had the Stanley Cup final last year featuring arguably the greatest player in the National Hockey League, forward Connor McDavid. His team was ousted in 7 games by the Florida Panthers. Florida had gone back-to-back Stanley Cups last year, a very, very tough outing. And, it was a tough outing for McDavid, but I think he's, Mark, gonna be a long time Edmonton Oiler. Mark knows his hockey. Obviously, he's talking about McDavid, an Edmonton Oiler. There's so many teams now in the National Hockey League. It's tough when you follow teams from around the league, try to keep track of the players and the draft picks. But, we hope to get not only some Shark fans who will join us from time to time on the show, but also we want fans from around the National Hockey League. We'll talk a little NHL. Throughout the season, we'll be recapping games, looking at the minors, and seeing who's hot and who is not. Let's see. Mentioned that the preseason training camp gets underway Thursday. Then the actual games for the preseason. We've got a preseason. Look at this. This is how quickly they get into action in the NHL. They play quite a few preseason games with training camp getting underway Thursday. All right. Not much time to gear up for the first preseason tilt. If you're a Sharks fan, get ready. It's only a week away. Sunday, 7 o'clock at SAP Center, the Vegas Golden Knights. You'll see a lot of their prospects. And, if you're going to a game at this time of the year for training camp games and you're going to preseason games, don't expect to see all of the veteran talent. You're going to see guys who will be predominantly in the roster playing in the American Hockey League and the East Coast League with the Barracuda and the Thunder. And I anticipate first few games Sunday, Vegas, and the following Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, Ducks at 7 p.m. start. That will be on the 24th. So getting right out of the gate very early will be the San Jose Sharks with the preseason games. You're going to get a chance to talk about the veterans who will be returning. I mentioned earlier that I think they've got some good goaltending presence of the veteran variety. And it's just a matter of how many of these young guys, the youngsters in camp, these high draft picks, make the club this season. If anybody has any thoughts on the young guys, I mentioned Quentin Musty, Will Smith, Luca Cagnoni, and, of course, everybody around not only Sharks world, but around the National Hockey League talking about the star, Mecklin Celebrini, 38 games BU, 32 goals, 32 assists last year. Will Smith, another guy I mentioned, but he brings a lot to the table, too, as a center iceman and a prospect, and I anticipate you'll see him pretty soon in San Jose, as he not only played last year for Boston College, he played at the World Junior Hockey Championships and was a 23 first-round pick. So don't know what to tell you. It's very early in the year, and this is our very first broadcast of Shark Bites, a Northern Lights Entertainment production. I want to welcome everybody who's taken time to tune in. I see that we've got quite a few tuning in right now, not only via the YouTube, but also joining us in the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network X page. And what we do is we invite you, if you're on our Twitter, our X, come on over. We'd like to get some likes and some subscribers right out of the gate. Make sure the stream is a success. Without you, well, I wouldn't be here. We want to cover not only the San Jose Sharks and the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. We'll have, obviously, entertainment. We'll have some music and entertainment news weekends. We've got fantasy football reports. Earlier today, we had the Jock and the Doc morning show. You'll see that each and every morning, Monday to Friday. Coming up a bit later on this afternoon, a 3 p.m. start. It is the debut program of Carter's Corner. And if you are a fan of Bay Area sports, whether it's the Sharks, oh, heaven forbid, the San Francisco Giants, who are struggling with 72 wins this year, and they've got the day off, so they won't lose tonight. Carter won't be talking about a loss on a Monday night. So he'll talk about the Giants as well. And, of course, he'll be recapping yesterday's National Football League game. If you're watching some football yesterday, it was a tough day in Minnesota for the Niners. The Vikings outscored them 23-17. And you know what? It could have been a whole lot worse. Brock Purdy, 20-36, not a bad day. Didn't think they ran the ball that well. Jordan Mason, 20 carries for 100 yards. And Minnesota really took advantage of what looked like a very weak, hobbling San Francisco offensive line. So they're going to be talking about that today on Carter's Corner. It's going to be an interactive show. We invite you to come back into his chat and talk with him coming up about the show. So that'll about do it. We wanted to go about 15 minutes. We're now almost at the 20-minute mark, a little overtime today talking Sharks. But I'll tell you what, I'm fired up with the preseason getting underway next Sunday in camp on Thursday. Our first real look at what the future of the San Jose Sharks looks like. And we'll get a chance to talk to some of the veterans as well. We'll be talking with Sharks management and some of the guys from the front office as well who'll be joining us. And Victor Andrews mentioned something very interesting earlier, and that was Ned Colletti. Now, a lot of people around baseball with the San Francisco Giants know that Ned Colletti, former GM, he's a scout with the San Jose Sharks, so he obviously knows quite a lot about Mecklin Celebrini, and he was heavily involved in that draft selection this past spring. So, yeah, maybe we can get Ned on talking San Jose Sharks in a future broadcast. That about does it for me. Didn't know if I'd get through it, but I did. It wraps up our debut program, Shark Bites. You can join me Wednesday afternoon. Same time, same channel, the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, when we talk San Jose Sharks. We'll also recap again the closing of the junior tournament, the prospects tournament, with the game being played today. Colorado and the Sharks looking to make it a 3-game sweep. See you Wednesday. Get ready for the NHL season with us here at Shark Bites. And we're glad to have you join us each and every day.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.